Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Kindergarten Information Night. If I could please have all the panelists turn on their screens so everyone can see you. All right. Go ahead and flip to the next screen, please. All right. So today you're going to hear from our panelists, staff, principals, and across our district, and share the details about what to expect as you enter kindergarten in the Anacortes School District. I want to first of all say I'm really proud that we have a district that is high achieving for our students, and we also offer amazing supports for all of our learners to make sure that our students, as soon as they enter kindergarten and all the way up through the 12th grade year, have the wonderful resources that they need to be able to graduate ready for life or college or whatever their passions may be. And so the journey begins now in kindergarten, and we're here to welcome you and to make sure that your students are ready and welcomed and loved when they come to our district. And we cannot wait to see them and their shiny faces and their backpacks, and they're ready to go. So looking forward to that. A little bit about our district. We do have a strategic plan that has 4 areas that focus on quality instruction and curriculum. We are working really hard to ensure that we continually offer ongoing professional development and training for our staff to provide ongoing, wonderful, amazing instruction in our classrooms, and that we're consistently updating our curriculum and our materials and resources so that your students have the best resources available as they learn. We focus a lot on social emotional learning. As your kids come to school, we want to make sure that they have a safe space that is physically safe, emotionally safe, and that our kids feel welcome and included and a part of the culture of not only their classroom and with their teachers and their student and their peers, but also within the school as a whole. I'm really proud in our school district that we have amazing partners. Our community in Anacortes is amazing, and we have outstanding community partners who help us everywhere from volunteers in our classrooms, which we're going to start to bring back into our schools very soon, to all of the grants and businesses and community members here who provide a lot of support. And we also focus a lot on stewardship, making sure that we're using our resources to the best of their ability, that we're stretching them to their fullest potential so that we can provide all of that support needed to make sure your kid is successful. We do focus a lot on the whole child. We have a lot of art, which I love about Anacortes. One of the reasons I came here 2 years ago was because of the incredible opportunities that our kids have in this community. The arts the access to arts in elementary specifically is amazing. And we're actually in the process of continuing to strengthen our partnerships with the Anacortes Arts Festival and Foundation in making sure that we're continuing to enhance those opportunities. We have high academic rigor and engagement in our classrooms and focus on the well-being of the child as a whole. We do focus on a curriculum in social emotional learning called Ruler, and your principals can share more about that. That is an opportunity for us to engage intentionally about the language we use in our classrooms to ensure that we can focus on building and being attentive to our emotions, the emotions of others, and being able to regulate those emotions so that we can continue to grow as students within our schools. And we'll talk more about this later on in the presentation, but the first day of kindergarten is Wednesday, September 7th. All of our other grades begin September 1st. We'll explain more about why we do that later on in this presentation, but cannot wait to see your students enter our schools on Wednesday, September 7th. Also, we did put a note in the chat to please use the Q&A feature in this presentation. That way there all of the participants can actually see the questions you're asking. If you use the chat box, we won't, the participants, nobody can see that except us. So please use the Q&A as we move throughout the presentation. All right, I'm going to turn this over to see is Ann Berard on the call right now? She is. So Ann Berard is our assistant at the district office who supports Dr. Becky Clifford, our assistant superintendent, and also supports all of the enrollment processes in our schools. I'm sure many of you have talked to Ann on the phone or have emailed Ann, and now here she is. Turn it over to Ann.
Thanks, Dr. Irish. Yep, so my name is Ann. I do the K through 5 registration, and our registration for fall is now open. It will remain open through the school year. Next fall, it will remain through September. Just a little bit about enrollment. Enrolling your child in school can take a little bit of time and a little bit of preparation. So it's a good idea to start the process as soon as possible if you haven't done so already. Our enrollment starts online through our district website. You can go to asd103.org. On the site there are interactive forms with instructions to hopefully make this process a little bit easier. There are a few documents that are needed when you enroll your child, and it might be helpful to gather these documents first before you start to ensure that you have everything, just to make the process a little bit easier. One of the documents that we need is a birth certificate, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a birth certificate. It can be a passport. It can be a letter from your hospital that your child was born at, just something that shows the age and age verification. Another one is called a CIS form, and this is a medically verified immunization form. This is different from just medical records that you can obtain from your doctor. This is a specific form that you can get, and it talks about it on our website when you register. You can go on to myir.net, register through them, or call your pediatrician, and you can obtain it that way. The last document that is important to have is if you have any legal documents that you need to upload at time, you can do that as well. So those are the three main points, are the three main documents that you'll need upon registration. I think that's it. I am always happy to help. You can see my email address down at the bottom. You can also call me anytime, and I would be more than happy to help you with the registration process.
Thank you, Ann. I want to actually, before we go into health concerns, I do want to introduce some other members of the panel. Dr. Becky Clifford is here today. She is our assistant superintendent, and she is here to answer any questions and to be a support to all of you as well. We have Nicole Mortimer on the line. Nicole is our early learning coordinator. She is here, helps us coordinate all of our early learning experiences for our students. She helps us coordinate and partner with our daycare providers, as well as our early learning centers in the community. She is a wealth of knowledge and resource for you, and can be a liaison for you as you navigate and enter our school system. So welcome, Nicole. We also have our three principals here that I'm going to introduce to you in a few, and make sure I'm not missing anyone before I introduce Emily. All right, so Emily Wade is our district nurse. She is incredible. She works not only at Island View, but she supports all of our nursing team, and is also a wealth of knowledge. And so I'm happy to turn this over to Emily to share a little bit about health.
Hi everyone. Yes, so tacking on to enrollment, there is a form within the enrollment process, a health questionnaire, where you can identify any health needs your child may have, or if they need any medications while they're at school. It will be important to identify those there so that we know how to best support your student while they're on our campuses. Later on in the year, myself or one of our school nurses will follow up with families to discuss any particular needs that they may have or gather any more information that we might need. My contact info is here, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions you might have or concerns regarding your child's particular health.
Thank you, Emily. And before we introduce our schools, I would like to turn this over to Nicole. Nicole, do you have anything that you would like to say or any words of wisdom for our families as the early learning coordinator?
No, but we're really excited to have everyone come. I saw an incoming kinder today. I had a sighting, and it was really it was really exciting for me to see. Oh, she was so cute. She was just darling. She came to our vision and hearing screening today, and she was just cute as a button. And it's just an exciting time for all of us to think about the incoming kinders and how exciting it is for the families. But you guys have to know that it's exciting for us too as staff. So we're really thrilled to have the incoming class of, 2035 or something. So welcome.
Thanks, Nicole. All right, so in our district, we have 3 elementary schools. We have Fidalgo Elementary, Island View Elementary, and Mount Erie Elementary. And in our 3 schools, we have 3 amazing principals who I'll introduce here on the next slide. We have Mr. Kevin Schwartz, Dr. Tara Dowd, and Dr. Brian Hanneran, who are amazing team. Again, this is my 2nd year in the district. I just could not be more thrilled to work with such an outstanding leaders who really support, again, the whole child and making sure that our elementary schools are the best they can be. The other thing that really stands out to me about the 3 leaders is they work really closely together to make sure that no matter which school your child attends, they are getting very similar experiences across the schools. And they talk on a regular basis, meet on a regular basis, grow together on a regular basis. And I'm just really, really honored to work with these incredibly talented leaders. So at this point, we are going to turn this over to Mr. Schwartz, who will talk about what to expect in the beginning of kindergarten.
Hi, thanks everybody for being here. And I am Kevin Schwartz, the principal at Mount Erie. So what we're going to be doing is talking a little bit about what to expect on the first few days of school. For kindergarten, as you've probably seen already, we start a few days after the rest of the school year for the rest of the school district. And the reason we do that is because we do something called WAKIDS, parent-student meetings. And WAKIDS actually stands for Washington Kindergarten Inventory of Developing Skills. But basically, it's an opportunity for you and your child to come and meet the classroom teacher. And we do that as a delayed start so that you have an opportunity to really be one-on-one with your teacher so that your student can see the school, meet the teacher, see the classroom in an environment that is not quite as busy as a regular first day would be with all the other 300 kids in the school. So prior to that, you'll get an invitation from your school, whether you go to Island View, Fidalgo, or Mount Erie, and you'll be able to come into your school, meet the teacher, get busing information, and all the things that help your child start out the year really successful. So that's really where the first 3 days will look for you guys. Did you want me to talk about COVID considerations too?
No, we'll have this, Dr. Dowd can talk about COVID.
Okay, thanks.
So we are just very happy that schools are beginning to look a lot more normal. Masks are optional at this point. We still have some students and staff that wear masks, but I'd say most do not. It was so fun on the first day back when we weren't wearing masks and students would like in the hall, "Hi, Miss Dowd," and it was like, I see you and you see me and we see each other. So anyway, that's been pretty special. We are, I think, as Dr. Irish said, getting closer to being able to have volunteers and getting closer to be looking at things like field trips. So fingers crossed, I think we'll be looking at a very typical year for your kindergarten students next year. However, as always, we follow the local health guidelines, state and health guidelines, and always have. So we will follow their direction if COVID should take another course.
All right, and Dr. Hanneran, can you take this slide, please?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And before I talk about these frequently asked questions, I have to say I had a unique experience. I have a senior at Anacortes High School this year. So does Tara Dowd at Fidalgo. And so we recently attended an event at the college that he's going to attend. And the dean of the college of their School of Education just made me think about this journey and about all of you, even though I can't see you on on this call. But it was a woman who taught kindergarten for 12 years. And so she was welcoming these college students and these parents into a university. And how she did it was using a series of quotations and lessons that she learned over 12 years teaching kindergarten. And I was really moved sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, kindergarten really is the most important year. These kids learn to work together and to know what school is all about. And I also want to remind you that it might seem like a really long journey, and it is, but it goes super, super quickly. And I would rewind and take your spot any day right now as a senior in high school. But so enjoy the journey. We have an incredible school district. We love your kids, and they're going to thrive here. So first of all, food services. Currently, we at all 3 elementary schools, we have a 40-minute lunch period. Students have 20 minutes to eat and then 20 minutes to play outside. And some of our students currently are playing outside before lunch, and then they come into lunch after recess. Some of our students have lunch first, and then they head out to recess. But we understand the importance of giving your kids enough time to eat and enough time to move those energetic bodies. And yes, all schools have morning, lunch, and afternoon recess time. So your students will get plenty of breaks throughout the day. There's a 10-minute break / recess in the morning, then that longer 20-minute recess at lunch, and then another PM recess every day with the exception of Wednesday, which is early dismissal. So we don't have PM recess on Wednesdays. And all of our elementary schools start around 9. We're at 9:05 here at Island View. And that was a nice change that occurred several years ago, that all of our elementary schools start at basically the same time. And then each Wednesday, we release students 1 hour early. And that's really significant time for our teachers and staff to work together and collaborate and plan for lessons and to continue to support your students. So that's really important time on Wednesdays.
And Dr. Hannaran, can you take this one as well?
I better read it first.
Yeah.
So we are unique in Anacortes in that we are a non-boundary district. And so your students will be assigned to schools on various factors, not just geographical boundaries, which makes us very unique. So some things that we think about, we principals work very hard and follow our board policy when we're placing kids into classrooms. So we think about special services that your students might require, such as IEPs and 504 plans. We are very sensitive to class sizes in our district, and we try to make sure that class sizes at Island View are not larger or smaller than class sizes at the other 2 elementary schools. So we really think about that. We think about gender makeup. Siblings, we try very, very hard not to separate siblings. So if you have an incoming kindergartner with an older sibling, please make sure that you you let us know that, particularly if names are different. We definitely do not want to separate siblings. And we also do think about parent preferences. So if you have a preference for a particular school, we cannot guarantee that we'll be able to accommodate your preferences, but we do work really hard together and with you to make sure that your child is well taken care of. There. Okay, and the school placement, yep, you can read that on the screen.
Great, thank you. All right, transportation. We do provide transportation to all students enrolled in our school district that live within the Anacortes community. So if you live outside of Anacortes, if you live in Mount Vernon and you've transferred into our district, we do not offer transportation, but we do offer transportation if you live within our boundaries. And once you receive your building placement in August, you can go to our website and you can look through our info finder, and that will tell you exactly where the routes are so that you can make sure that you are there to help your child get on a bus. I know I used to be an elementary school principal, and one of the favorite things that kids love is that bus, getting on and off that bus. And so, and it was one of my favorite parts of the day to greet the kids as they were getting off the bus in the morning and as they were getting onto the bus in the afternoon. So very excited that we offer an amazing service for you. So as you identify your building placement, you can go into info finder. And then Karen Garrison is our supervisor for the transportation department, and she's available at that phone number or email address and can help you at any time. She is an outstanding leader in our district and is there to serve you. And so she'll be there to answer any questions you might have. So the packets are going to be mailed out to all the families later in August. In that packet, it'll include our district calendar, our handbook, the transportation information, as well as free and reduced lunch applications. We encourage everybody to fill out that free and reduced lunch application. It does allow us to apply for grants and other resources to have that info. Even if you're not planning to buy our lunches, it is very helpful to us for you to apply for the free and reduced lunch application if you qualify, and therefore we do get additional resources from our state and then the federal government for that. All right, and some things that you can do now just to transition your students is routine. Your kids are going to be in the classroom with a bunch of other kids. And the best thing you can do is to help them understand and socialize with other people. You can establish simple chores, consistent bedtimes. Those are all the great ways for them to start to acclimate and transition into a routine to classroom. And that's something that our kindergarten teachers will really help support as your child enters in it. They do a lot of fun games. They make it really interesting, but they do help them establish those routines. Another thing that you can do to help build their literacy skills is read to them even just 10 minutes a day. It helps build their comprehension. It helps them build skills in regards to even how to hold the book, how to flip the pages, all of the things that we that help with those early literacy skills. So just some simple things you could do now to help transitioning throughout the summer and make sure that they're successful. All right, and we'll turn this over to any questions that you might have. Again, please use the question and answer portion, not the comment section. Thank you, Barry. Good question. Before and after school care options. We do not have any before and after school care options at this time. We used to offer that prior to COVID. So we are unable to offer at this time because of the staffing considerations, and there's other things we have to figure out to make that happen. So it won't happen for this upcoming school year for sure. There are opportunities in our community, and Nicole Mortimer, our early learning coordinator, can assist helping you in any way to help you find where our partners are within the community to offer before and after school care.
I was going to answer and add on to that, that the YMCA, we partner with the YMCA and they do offer after school programming. I don't know before school programming, but it's housed at Whitney, and the registration is through YMCA Skagit, and the bus picks them up at Whitney and takes them to school and picks them, transports them that way. Or I guess vice versa, because I don't know if they're doing before school this year, but maybe next year they will again.
Also, a lot of our students use the Boys and Girls Club, and our school buses can take them right there.
Thank you. So we're working out that timing right now. Actually, our principals are meeting soon to build out that schedule of when school assignments will be communicated, but it'll be most likely mid-August.
Yes, those family interviews or family meetings, once you're, so the question was asked was, how will we be communicated when our family or interview or meeting is? The teachers, your kindergarten teacher will be sending you an email sometime in August to invite you to that meeting. And I will just add, before we did these meetings, there were a lot of, tears on the first day of schools from kindergartners. And since these meetings, I don't think I've had any. They've already met their teacher. They know where their classroom is, their desk, where to hang up their coat. And they just run into the classroom. The only tears are from the parents.
Yeah. As a principal, I want to address the drop-offs and drop the lines that you have. Each school is different.
Yeah, I can do that. We allow, we start right now at 8:45, allowing students to get to school, and at least at Mount Airy, that seems to be plenty of time between 8:45 and 9 o'clock for families to get there. So we don't typically have any kind of a delay getting kids into class as a result of that. But we do have staff out there a few minutes earlier, just in case that helps. And I'll just tag on to the next question here, which is the meeting with teachers able to be rescheduled due to work schedules? And we have been really successful with just sort of case by case supporting families as needed, and that I know kindergarten teachers really want to meet with families. So this last year, we actually used 2 hours in the evening as part of our back to school night to have our kindergarten teachers meet with families who were not able to come during the day. So that's been something we've been able to do.
I'll just go back to the drop-off pickup. There is a bit of a wait. There's always a process. But I'll go as dismissed at 3:35. I will say all of our cars have picked up by 8:45. However, there are parents that come half an hour before school, like 3 o'clock or even before. So, and those cars are waiting because they come so early. But I know a mom who aims for 3:40, 3:45 and has almost no wait. So, but we have a pretty efficient system. I think all the 3 elementaries do. We have to measure safety and making sure that kids get in the right cars, and that takes some time. And so it isn't instantaneous, but I think we all have pretty good systems, and we get those cars moving on as soon as we can. I don't know if Brian or Kevin want to say anything else about dismissal. Each school is a little unique, their location.
Yeah, I didn't know if the question was about dismissal or drop off. I know it I thought it was about drop off, but at Island View, and I think this is true at Mount Erie as well. If you need to, we allow students to be dropped off starting at 8:50, since our class starts at 9:05 here at Island View. And we have a lot of parents who will park on J Avenue and then just walk their children down the sidewalk to the stairs, and they don't have to wait in traffic that way. I'll tackle Seth's question too. Good to see you on the call, Seth. An example schedule for a kindergartner's day. It's an exciting day. Typically in the morning, we try to have uninterrupted ELA blocks. So that's when your students are doing reading and foundations, which is our phonics program. And then they either go outside to have a snack or a recess break. And then they'll have some kind of, some specialist that could be PE, movement, library, music, and then of course lunch. And then after lunch is typically math. And then the teachers, Dr. Irish touched on this earlier, all of our teachers are really good about infusing art into classrooms. So at some point in the day, not every day, but at some point in the day during the course of a week, students will also have art.
And there was another question about math and science and social studies, and can you talk about the other subjects as well, and when parents have opportunities to learn and engage with those curriculum?
Well, our teachers at kindergarten level anyway, once your student is in third grade, they'll have a science specialist, but our classroom teachers take care of social studies and science as well. And our new reading and writing curriculum has a heavy social studies focus. And so that morning block of reading and writing time also involves social studies, and especially at the kindergarten level, talk about community and different roles within our community. Kevin, Tara, anything to add?
No, I was just going to address the question on volunteering. So there's a question about how to qualify as a volunteer. And so always, whether there's COVID or not, there's a online volunteer application form through the district office. And with given COVID, that now includes at least currently either proof of vaccination or an exemption process. There's also a video I think that volunteers need to watch on health and safety related to COVID. So it's a process, but not an extensive process to get cleared as a volunteer. And right now we are only allowed to have a few volunteers in the building at any given time. We're hoping that opens up. So we're looking at that, and again, hope that we'll be able to have lots of classroom volunteers next year. And jump in if I missed anything, panelists.
Great question about placement. If you live out in the county near Fidalgo, you want to talk about that process?
I can. We love to have families that live near Fidalgo because it's kind of rural and we don't have a lot. So I think that it mentioned that in your application, and we look at addresses too. So the Gibraltar address or a neighboring street, that jumps out at me for sure. So again, if you have siblings attending a school or any children living in the household. So if you're living with cousins, so make sure you indicate that. But definitely if you live in close proximity to any of the three schools, mention that. I will say, if you live on Guimas, we cannot transport you by school bus to Fidalgo. So most we miss students unless the parent wants to transport them, attend either Island View or Mount Erie.
All right, we're not seeing any more questions. We are here for you. If you have any other questions, you can reach out at any time. And Nicole Mortimer also is an excellent resource for all of you as we transition in. We really appreciate you attending today. We're here for you. We are so excited to have your kids enter our schools. We are going to love on them and give them a great experience, and excited to partner with you in that journey and have a wonderful transition into kindergarten. So thank you, everybody. And we're here for you at any time.